Hello, I'm Arroyo Eubanks and this is Jamaica Magazine. Welcome. As part of our Child Month celebration, we invited 4 bright youngsters to help produce a few of our shows. On Sunday, we tasted the culinary skills of a budding chef, and today, 14-year-old Andrew Reed of White Mall Primary and Junior High School steps into the spotlight, putting focus on the very serious issue of conflict resolution. Also in the half hour, a teenage goat farmer who isn't afraid to get her hands dirty. Plus, our top news of the week. Sit back and relax. Jamaica Magazine unfolds right now.
Play is very important to the development of children. It allows them to use their creativity and develop their imagination. Through play, children interact with the world around them. They learn how to work in groups, share and resolve conflicts.
They learn rules and they learn about respecting others and waiting turns and setting their own rules and guidelines for their games.
Set limits, but allow your children to play. It will help them develop the confidence and resilience needed to conquer future challenges.
If you're like most Jamaicans, managed water makes any gathering complete. And to get the taste just right, good Jamaican goat meat. Recently, we met a teenager who's big on goat rearing. She's learned a lot about goats and is passionate about the future of the industry. This is the story of Amanda Forbes.
Did you know that a goat eats 3 times more than a cow? Didn't know. Me either. Well, my name is Amanda Forbes and today I'll be sharing some information with you about goat care and management. Now follow me. Well, this is my grandfather's goat pen, and this is where I learned, well, some of the things that I learned about for goat care and management, and I'll be teaching you more about the goats in this pen. They're very friendly. Well, this pen was created like this, and it has lots of holes inside of the caves because goats love rocky area to get exercising, right? So when they go up inside the pen, it protects them from the rain, and they get a lot of exercise because they're actually going up and down on the hillsides, and they actually love this type of environment where they can interact with each other. You can actually tell the age of a goat by its teeth, and especially when it has the first 2 front teeth pop out, you know that it's 1 year old. But when it starts to get spaced, you can actually tell the age. But when it has no teeth, you can actually know that it's months old. It's not really a year old, it's very young, despite how big they seem.
Only 15 years of age, Amanda already has a wealth of knowledge in the care and management of goats. And in addition to being mentored by her grandfather, she has learned some of this information from her association with the Jamaica 4-H Club. In engaging hundreds of clubites through schools across the island, the 4-H Club is grooming youngsters like Amanda to pursue agriculture as a viable career option, and she's a believer.
Well, I would like to go to the University of the West Indies, UWI, and I would like to try to follow in the career of biotechnology and in veterinary service of caprine. Caprine is the veterinarian of goats, as I said before, and I would like to do biotechnician. This is genetic engineering.
Amanda's passion to care for animals started when she was much younger. She could be seen caring for her dogs when they were hurt.
I used to have these medicines in the house that I would actually treat them with. Then Grandpa would say, no, let me treat them myself because he had the treatment for them.
This young St. Anne resident and student of Foreign Court High School is destined for great things in the future. But today, she's our teacher.
Do you know how to select a goat? Well, I'll teach you about that. For, you say a doe, you make sure that she's sturdy on the legs, just like that one over there. See the one standing on the stone? Sturdy on the legs, but you should have a wide barrel and a well-developed chest. And make sure that the udder is well attached to big and tender and soft udders, so the kids can actually get some nice milk from it. In preparation for breeding, actually, you should Expose the doors to fresh pastures, fresh green pastures, so you can get lots of succulent plants. Then afterwards, you give it like 1 to 2 pounds of 12 to 16% CP, that is concentrate protein from the industries. Then you deworm and delouse them, and then you give them some vitamin supplements so they can be sturdy and well, very active, so they can get to do what they want to do, you know what I mean?
This natural talent comes also the comedic side to Amanda, which she uses to entertain her friends.
When I'm down like this, they make me smell like this. But they said, you sure you don't want to do acting? They said you could fit in, and I said,
There are 3 things that matter most to Amanda.
I love school, and I love my best friends, really. And I enjoy working with animals very much.
So much is that love for the care of animals that she was awarded the Jamaica 4-H Club Championship Trophy for Goat Care and Management at the 2014 National Expo. She is now the national representative in this category. With this knowledge and that which she will acquire in her future studies as a veterinarian, Amanda hopes to help her grandfather with his goats. And there are other plans.
And I would like to apply to the Japanese embassy for the scholarship that they're offering, and then I would like to get a job over there and here if it's possible. Then I could actually promote the industry of goat production from Jamaica to Japan.
And so in her spare time, she reads manga, a Japanese comic that helps her to learn the language and culture. Amanda's forward-thinking approach is one that's embraced by the government, as it positions the agriculture sector for growth and sets up a promising future for the youth.
Given the youth's willingness to adapt to new ideas, concepts and technology, it goes without saying that the future of agriculture in Jamaica resides with our young people.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. In a pen, you should make sure that the feeders are designed in a way so to discourage the goats from stepping on the feeds or fecal contamination. And you should make sure that when you are going out to a pasture, I would recommend that the pasture have like grassland like this. I wouldn't like them to actually grow on the ground, because you're actually risking the goats to ingest worms, and you wouldn't like that because this will formulate in a loss later on.
The youths, positioning themselves to make a difference and continue the growth in agriculture.
My name is Adrian Carl, the double silver medalist in primary school champs, and you're watching Jamaica Magazine.
Disagreements are part of life. How you deal with conflict makes all the difference. Fighting is never the best option. Watch this.
What sound does a long A make? Disagreements and arguments are common features of human interaction. That's why it isn't uncommon to find that conflicts pop up from time to time when parenting a child. But as with the old saying, when elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. Children are impacted when their parents have disputes. However, there are things you can do to limit the impact of conflict on our children.
The first duty, I think, is that the parent should try not to harm the child as collateral damage. Because I think in a lot of situations, the parent doesn't intend to harm the child, but is either so emotionally engaged in the issue at hand, or is so unaware that they may say or do things that are not suitable for the children to be involved in. We have had situations where a parent may have gone to school and made a comment about a child, like you're the worst picnic the Lord ever make. But then the child now gets teased by every other child in their class. They get disrespected by the people there. So I think a lot of times when we're expressing, we're not thinking about the effects. So I think awareness is the first thing I would say to parents. Second thing I'm saying to parents, the world is not really judging you every day for you to pass or fail a test in parenting. Most people empathize with the fact that parenting is a complicated job for which most of us are not equipped. So be gentle on yourself, and by being gentle on yourself, then maybe you would find more space to be more accommodating of the children. It's important to practice what we preach, because we will lose the respect and confidence of our children, because they come to us respectful, you know, and they come to us having confidence in us. But we can lose that by the way we handle situations, as well as the way we handle them. So in Child Month, I think it's a commitment to, you know, create loving families, handle stresses by going to professionals to assist, take issues that the children are not involved in into a space where they don't have to hear and see all of the conduct that's really not appropriate for them.
So parents, try your best to maintain an atmosphere of love and compassion within the home. Even if there are problems, resolve them peacefully. Do not take out your frustration on the children. And whatever the situation, let them know that mommy and daddy will have differences, but both of you will always be there to support them. Remember, children's care and protection are FIWI mission.
What sound does a long A make? A, A, A. What sound does a long A make? A, A, A.
Stop smoking around me! Without cigarettes, the world will be much better. Smoking is bad for your health, and when grown-ups smoke around us, we are breathing in their smoke too.
Cigarette smoking is bad for your health and the health of those around you. Don't smoke around children. A message from the Pan American Health Organization.
Sports can be an integral part of a child's development. Physical activity is good for the mind and the body, and it fosters team spirit. The government is ensuring that the nation's children have an opportunity to participate in sports by implementing the right programs.
We must fortify the base by improving the facilities that mold our young student athletes.
23 high schools, $250 million, and a historical tour. Today on Sports Spotlight, we explore the High School Sport Infrastructure Improvement Project, launched through a school bus tour on November 1, 2013.
Our schools have found a way to turn them hand and make fashion. And it is a time to honor their passion by strengthening the sports infrastructure nationwide. The promise is that the payoff for such an investment will be enormous.
The Office of the Prime Minister, with support from the Ministries of Education, Agriculture and Local Government, along with other stakeholders, has embarked on a historic project to upgrade and improve sport infrastructure in the nation's high schools. 23 schools will benefit from Phase 1 of the project over the next 2 years.
Under this project, 10 schools will be targeted by the Sports Development Foundation in Phase 1 to the tune of $100 million during financial years 2014 to 2016. The Ministry of Agriculture, through the EU Sugar Transformational Project, has agreed to target yet another 13 schools which fall within the sugar transformation areas in Phase 1 of this initiative in the amount of $150 million.
To launch this historic project, Minister Natalie Nita Headley and her team went on a high school tour. First stop, Grange Hill High in Westmoreland, where the school and community fields used by the student athletes were examined.
And we hope that in very short order we can give you a better field so you can be a better team.
On behalf of the Grange Hill High School Dakota team, school management and staff, we want to say thank you very much for visiting our training session today.
The Infrastructure Improvement Project has been heavily endorsed and supported by the Ministry of Education, which is committed to assist with the upgrading costs.
There will be a budget line in our estimates this year, a significant one, so that we can partner with the ministry in charge of sports so that we can do our share of the infrastructure upgrading. If Jamaica is to retain its position at the top of the sprints and extend its prowess in world track and field, then the availability of adequate physical education and sporting facilities are essential.
Our next stop on the high school sport infrastructure tour is in the parish of St. Elizabeth, where we stopped at the Lacobia High School.
Firstly, for the track and field, the current field is not 400 meters. The perimeter is not 400 meters. So our athletes are training like at 300, and they have to go to events where they're actually running on 400-meter tracks. So when they go to these fields now, they're uncomfortable because they're not used to running on those tracks. Then for the football, the surface itself that we're playing on is not ideal.
It is because of this that this rural school is ecstatic at the upgrading project to take place on its sporting infrastructure.
When we first heard, we were excited because we were looking not only on the sporting benefits, but also on the holistic development of the students at the school. Because once the students know that the school has been improved sporting-wise, they will feel comfortable. The culture in the school is going to change.
Change is certainly coming, as the Sport Development Foundation will provide the engineers who will visit each facility to do infrastructure designs. The designs will include a combination of a running track, football field, cricket pitch, and netball or basketball court.
This focus on schools is well founded, as we have found out over the years that where the ownership and management structure of the fields and sporting facilities that we have built are not properly in place, a number of these have fallen into disrepair.
It's a sentiment shared by the president of the Intersecondary Schools Association, ISSA, who has high praises for the initiative.
We at ISSA are delighted that this bold step, and I want to underline the word bold, this is history. This bold step has been taken to enhance the quality of the facilities and the human resource in the various schools.
Last stop on the tour was the Vere Technical High School, site of the official launch and the signing of a memorandum of understanding amongst all stakeholders.
Well, I feel really wonderful. This program has really inspired me a lot to do my best at my cricket career. I hope this can continue over the years.
I am confident and I believe that this program that is being held by this committee will help to put these things back in place, and so I'm excited and I'm waiting to see the outcome.
And that's a wrap on the High School Sport Infrastructure Improvement Project launch. For Sports Spotlight, I'm Tamara McHale.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
On the board this week. Come out on Wednesday, May 21 for a free family heart health public forum at the Knutsford Court Hotel from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Join the Heart Institute of the Caribbean and St. Jude Medical in a panel discussion. For further information, call 906-2105-8. Make it a date and come out for the Minimis Portmore Grand Coronation Show on Sunday, May 25 at the Southborough Primary School. Showtime 6 p.m. Send us your events for broadcast on the JIS Community Notice Board. Call 922-868-022 or send an email to cbishop@jis.gov.jm.
No, son. A verb is an action word.
Parents need to become more involved in their children's education.
Parents are the first and in many cases the most important teachers.
Read with your children. Review their schoolwork. Visit their school.
Tapping and rapping and Slapping, I said.
Nice. High five. Woo!
A good education will never decay.
What are the qualities of a good parent? How should children be treated so they can grow to become positive, productive human beings? We find out from the streets.
A good parent is a person who grow the child up the right way, a responsible person, a person who fear God and do the right thing.
Someone who takes responsibility for their child financially, emotionally, and somebody who's just always there.
Well, a good parent is somebody who's always there for the child, always be there and give them whatever they need. You know, it's not just being, you know, just the money and all about, but it's also about the caregiver. Is all about playing the role.
A good parent is somebody, you know, who's there for their child and puts their child first before themselves.
Someone who takes care of their children and give them food and shelter.
One who pays all the attention and the interest in their child, give them a good education, and I mean being there for them.
Send them to school and send them to church and look after them, buy them clothes and things, you see me? And check for them youth and things. You see me? That's a good parent.
First, you'd have to ensure that the child is safe, well fed, school, and well, what would I say now? Medical is fine and she's okay and well disciplined.
A good parent take care of the children, right? Send them to school, make sure that them homework is done. Let me see. Make sure that they have good grades, help them study. Yeah, and make them enjoy themselves, but not to the extent where them go club and so and so. But, you know, make sure them enjoy themselves and have them fun because they are kids, of course.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, more than a supper.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the hyping. You think that's so? We reach out the edge. I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every Jamaican can.
Top news stories of the week are coming up next.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. The Planning Institute of Jamaica PIOJ this week estimated that Jamaica's economy grew by 1.6% in the first 3 months of the calendar year. The Institute's Director General said further that the short-term prospects for the Jamaican economy were positive.
Expect real GDP for the April to June 2014 quarter to grow within the range of 0.5% to 1.5%. The change in real GDP for fiscal year 2014-15 is projected to fall within the range of 1% to 2%, with upside potential associated with the implementation of several growth-inducing projects in tourism, energy, and infrastructure.
Jamaica's unemployment rate, meanwhile, was less in January of this year than in 2013, while the employed labor force grew by 20,500 persons. Before those announcements, Western Hemisphere Director for the International Monetary Fund, Alejandro Warner, commended the Portia Simpson Miller administration on its implementation of the IMF program. He said the program appeared to be on the right track. In response, Mrs. Simpson Miller assured the IMF director that the government was fully committed to the program in the interest of the people. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller also welcomed $11.5 billion in development assistance from another of Jamaica's partners, the European Union. The agreements are for the next 2 to 5 years and cover, among other things, the extension of the EU's poverty reduction program and the public financial management support program.
Transparency and accountability in the management of our financial affairs is paramount. Therefore, I welcome this project just as enthusiastically as I welcome the extension of the poverty reduction program.
Other programs covered by the EU signings deal with justice and security, transformation of the sugar sector, economic capacity building, and technical cooperation. National Security Minister Peter Bunting made his sectoral presentation this week and said murders declined by 8% between January 1 and May 10 this year and by 44% when compared to the same period 5 years ago. Accusatory crimes also decreased by 14% when compared to last year.
Shootings are flat year on year, but again, if we look at the trend over a 5-year period, shootings will be down 36%. In fact, serious and violent crimes, 2014 versus 2013, are down 11%, and over the 5-year period are down 33% collectively.
He also revealed that the merger of the JCF and ISCF had prompted the addition of a fourth portfolio to the National Security Ministry called the Security Services Portfolio. The unit is to be headed by a Deputy Commissioner of Police and will incorporate the Marine and K-9 divisions of the JCF and will be responsible for VIP protection, among other things. While making his sectoral presentation Wednesday, Transport Minister Dr. Omar Davies said the deadline for submission of bids for the privatization of the Kingston Container Terminal had been extended from May 22 to July 3. Dr. Davies said it was based on a request by one of 3 shortlisted entities bidding for the project and said government would be meticulous in its approach to privatizing the KCT.
I want to make something abundantly clear, and I've indicated this in our meetings with the IMF. There will be no fire sale either of the KCT or any other asset.
He also revealed that privatization of the Norman Manley International Airport was expected to take place by the middle of next year. And finally, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller this week named Energy State Minister Julian Robinson as chair of a new committee to identify solutions to electricity theft and related matters. The committee, which comprises government officials as well as representatives from the Jamaica Public Service Company, was formed after JPS reduced the number of hours that power was supplied to select communities in Kingston, St. Andrew and St. Catherine because the majority of persons in those areas were stealing electricity. In a subsequent meeting at Jamaica House, the Prime Minister made it clear that the government did not support the theft of electricity, but said JPS had to find a way to deal with illegal connections without punishing legitimate customers. And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
This is where we say goodbye for today.
Join us again tomorrow for more useful information. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISnews. And our website, jis.gov.jm, remains a constant portal for the very latest government information. On behalf of the team here at the JIS, I'm Aroya Eubanks.
And I'm Andrew Reid. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.